The Capital by Wystan Hugh Auden. This poem was published in the 1940 collection titled Another Time. The setting of the poem is an unnamed capital or major city. The poem has 20 verses broken into 5 quatrains or 4-verse stanzas. It has no rhyme scheme. It is written in an irregular accentual meter. Don't forget to subscribe. The Capital presents a wealthy but morally and emotionally empty city. The poem starts by describing a fancy, rich neighborhood that should be full of pleasure, but instead, it seems fake and unsettling. The rich are both bored and greedy. The wealthy people seem to be waiting for something exciting to happen, but they're not doing anything meaningful. They waste money and hope for entertainment. Lovers are not truly in love. A couple in a restaurant seems intense and passionate, but their relationship is not affectionate. They might be using each other for personal gain rather than truly caring for each other. Even outsiders are unkind. Political exiles or immigrants, people forced to leave their home countries, don't show sympathy for others. Instead, they create an exclusive and mean-spirited community. The city is full of false promises. Even though it has money, romance, and multicultural, the city lacks real joy or warmth. Everything feels superficial and selfish. The second stanza compares freedom and control, suggesting that the city has disrupted natural and moral orders. There is a tone of admiration mixed with critique. The speaker acknowledges the city's charm but hints at the dangers of this influence. Abolish the strictness of winter and spring's compulsion suggests that the city has disrupted natural cycles. Winter often symbolizes hardship or discipline, while spring represents renewal and inevitable change. Lights might symbolize glamour or artificial brilliance, which contrasts with the punitive father, who represents strict authority or moral judgment. The people who have migrated to the city find a kind of freedom or liberation from their small-town surveillance or village traditions. The city people are free to do whatever they want, without judgment from outraged punitive traditional expectations. There is safety from outside cold winters and newfound privacy in blocks of building apparatuses or structures. The third stanza explores deception and consequences, focusing on how appearances can mislead people into overestimating their power. There's a shift from admiration to warning. While the city offers an illusion of greatness, it comes at a cost. The city uses spectacle and subtle persuasion to create an appealing illusion. The people are led to believe they are stronger or more capable than they actually are. The people in the city believe they can do whatever they want as they are no longer bound to conventional expectations, which makes them believe that they are infinite powerful. The innocent unobservant offender falls in a moment suggests that people unaware of the dangers of city life are suddenly harmed, implying that this illusion leads to destruction. Victim to his heart's invisible furies implies that internal emotions, such as desires, passions, or guilt, become the cause of downfall. The people who had come to the city full of hope and desires, they quickly become disillusioned and miserable by the brutal reality. The fourth stanza exposes the hidden suffering of urban life, particularly in industrial settings where people are treated as disposable. The tone is dark and critical, highlighting human exploitation and loneliness. Darkness is used to conceal cruel realities, possibly referencing poverty, injustice, or suffering in cities. People are treated as objects, used for labor and discarded when no longer needed, suggesting dehumanization. Loneliness is compared to a slow, painful process of being worn down by circumstances, just like pebbles shaped by unforgiving nature over time. This suggests that suffering reshapes people in ways they cannot control. The fifth and final stanza contrasts the hidden misery of the city with a deceptive, inviting glow that reaches into the countryside, drawing people towards something forbidden. There's an eerie, almost sinister tone as the glow of the city tempts people away from their simple rural lives. The city's artificial light spreads widely, making it seem attractive even from a distance. The countryside is described as vast and cold, perhaps emphasizing its isolation and hardship. The city is compared to a dangerous, tempting figure, suggesting that it offers something alluring but morally questionable. The city calls out to rural youth, drawing them away from their traditional lives, possibly leading them into suffering. The appeal of city life draws the youth away from the countryside with its promises of supposed wealth and success. The countryside's oppressive conventions demand strict obedience and hands out outraged punitive judgments if someone dares to cross the restrictive societal boundaries. Thus, the youth migrate to the city in the hope of freedom and a better future. Let's analyze Auden's The Capital. The poem highlights the huge and unfair gap between the rich and the poor in the city. The city promises excitement and success, but only the wealthy actually get to enjoy those things. Even worse, their luxurious lifestyles depend on exploiting the poor, whose hard work keeps the city running while they remain invisible and unappreciated. The rich have nothing meaningful to do. They just sit around spending money, waiting for something interesting to happen. In contrast, the poor live miserable lives in dark, cramped streets, working endlessly in factories for little reward. Their employers don't see them as human beings, only as tools, just like the products they make. The city slowly grinds these poor workers down, like stones being worn away over time. Their suffering is ignored, and their struggles don't matter to those who have power. The poem strongly criticizes this unfair system, showing how the city's promises are lies, especially for its most vulnerable people, who are used, abused, and discarded without a second thought. In W. H. Auden's poem The Capital, the big city is not the exciting, glamorous place it pretends to be. It draws people in by promising wealth, freedom, and adventure, especially to those who feel trapped in small towns with strict rules. The city seems to offer independence, music, romance, and an escape from controlling communities. It even tricks people into thinking they have unlimited power and privacy and that they can avoid things as natural as winter by hiding in fancy buildings. But beneath the surface, the city is cold and empty. The rich do nothing except waste money while hoping for something exciting to happen. Romantic relationships are not about love but about exploiting each other for personal gain. The poor, meanwhile, are hidden away in dark alleys, treated as disposable workers who are abused and thrown away. People who come to the city hoping for a better life often end up disappointed and disillusioned. Their dreams turn against them, leaving them hopeless and broken. Instead of being a place of opportunity, the city tricks people into believing they can have everything, only to take advantage of them and leave them with nothing but loneliness and suffering. Hope you comment and subscribe for more poem analysis.